Hello. You will see how I create a vintage collage artwork from zero. Create the scene and the artwork. When you have found all the images you need, it's time to compose. We'll start with the background. We'll merge two images by double-clicking on the top layer. A layer style panel will open, and in the same window we'll choose the product. We are going to integrate our first element, here an old sculpted window. With a mask and the brush tool we will remove the unwanted parts. We will import a starry sky image, and with the selection rectangle tool we will mask the image so that it is in the window. We will then add more elements to the background. Once we have added the mountain image we will select and hide the sky. We will add a sea of clouds in the foreground and quickly crop the clouds. We'll come back to this in a second step. Still, for the first one I'm going to add this road that I've already outlined. The same goes for this Greek architecture and these two columns. I'm going to align and center them on my image. I will then add a mountain in the background as a backdrop to my image. We're going to fill in the foreground with some elements. Here is an old photo of a beach with people. We'll roughly crop it with a mask and the brush. Still in the foreground we will add a woman holding a surfboard that we will roughly diversions. To add a bit of a floating element I chose to add some hot air balloons that I had previously cropped. And to distribute them on my image as I wish by playing with the mask of my layer. To decorate my top element I chose to add a bird flight. That's it for the first part. We have all our elements in place. Now it's time to make them fit together more neatly. We will erase and correct our elements by playing with the layer mask. With the brush I will erase the parts that bother me and make the images fit together better. For the clouds, on a mask I will use a special brush in the shape of a cloud to rework my layer. To make the clouds and the elements fit together I'm going to dub my cloud brush and place it behind my other layers, and the same as on the first layer with my cloud brush I'm going to rework my mask. To make my road look like it's immersed in my clouds I'll create a mask for it, and like for my clouds I'll use a cloud brush and erase bits of the road so that it fits into my background. To make the beach image fit in, I'll do the same as for the following claps with a mask and a brush. Once all your elements are integrated we will rectify the colors, light and some effects so that the image stands out better. Once you have your image, it's time to bring out all our elements and give it a more vintage look. We will group our elements and add some adjustments. Hue, saturation, color balance, levels, a gradient transfer coubre that we will make opaque by reducing its background. For a real vintage look we will import a grainy texture layer. To add a more dreamy feel, I'm going to add this starry sky image and apply overlay in blend mode and play with its opacity settings. We're going to change each element by adding a setting like hue, saturation, brightness and contrast by applying a clipping mask to the layers we want to touch up. We are going to add in slap style glows to some layers to give them depth. With the rectangle tool, we will make a black and white gradient and then play with the opacity of this layer. This will give an overall effect to the image. Once satisfied, we will merge our group, and make a dynamic object and apply a raw camera filter. Here we can fine-tune the image as we wish. In basic settings we can change the color, intensity, tint and exposure of the image. In details we will add sharpness to make our elements stand out. Then in effects we will add grain to our image, which will destroy some of the detail in the image and increase that vintage effect. Once the settings are made, all that remains is to validate. And that's how to create a vintage collage easily. Once your artwork is finished, we will integrate it into a poster. Adding graphic elements, typography and layout. First we will use Illustrator to create our title. From there we will customize a typography by vectorizing our text. We will move the letters around and play with them to give them the look we want. I'm going to make the two letters intertwine, using the letter below to mask the calligraphy letter. All I have to do is copy and paste my letter over the top of it and remove the areas I want to see in my design. Once our title is okay, we will open Photoshop and start working on a poster format. Then we'll add our visual on top and our title made in Illustrator by a simple copy and paste. Now that our main elements are on our poster, we will be able to add secondary and decorative elements, like vector shapes and text. Finally, we will add a paper texture to our poster to give it a realistic effect. And there you have it, a retro and vintage poster design created with collage artwork. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video for more tutorials. Have a nice day.